quite good, and the team, like always, we struggle a lot to break the Southampton high pressing. They did perfectly. I would say last season we suffered a lot here in our game there, but today we really did better. We're much better. Some players were not their best, but we created a lot of chances. Have been more clinical. The result would have been great. We concede few. Again, solid, and yeah, the good game.
He took a different decision after the last two games where we drawed against them, and we had more problems today to press them high. We still tried it, and in the end, I think the result also in this height was I think absolutely okay. They had shown the difference between these two teams, and I must say that I'm not unhappy about the effort and about the braveness we tried to put on the pitch.
Top of the table, top of the Premier League, but there still seems so much to come from Manchester City, which is scary for the rest of the league.
I think it's good, yeah. We have to keep going. We're in a very good momentum. We have to keep going, being like this and controlling games like this without conceding much. That's the most important, yeah.
Since I'm here, and this is nearly 4 years now, we were fighting every week for getting the results. The problem was not the game today. I think the problem was that in the last games we have left some points where we can maybe take more, and this is why we are under pressure.
And you've always come out fighting. Ralph Hasenhüttl is still always, when he's under pressure, seems to turn things around somehow.
Yeah, you can be sure that I will, as long as I'm here, I will do exactly what you were talking about, because yeah. This is why I'm here.
We start is before the World Cup is qualified for the Champions League. Where we are one game away next Tuesday. Hopefully we can do it, and after arriving before the World Cup, being there. You are not going to win the Premier League before the World Cup, so being there close to the top of the league, and we have still a few games to try to reach it.
Ralph, there's been so much talk about your future. Do you think you're going to be here next week?
No, because next week we play at home against West Ham, and then I'll be in Southampton.
Not in Manchester, but in charge of the club.
In charge of the club. This is not my decision to do this. You have to ask different people.
But it's a difficult time because there's so much talk, and it's out of your hands. But I guess the question is, can you do more to get more out of this team?
I had never easy times since I'm here. You can be sure that since I'm here, and this is nearly 4 years now, we were fighting every week for getting the results. The problem was not the game today. I think the problem was that in the last games we have left some points where we can maybe take more, and this is why we are under pressure.
And you've always come out fighting. Ralph Hasenhüttl is still always, when he's under pressure, seems to turn things around somehow.
Yeah, you can be sure that I will, as long as I'm here, I will do exactly what you were talking about, because yeah. This is why I'm here.
It's so hard for you guys to even get in the teams with the players that you've got now, and of course Erling Haaland in there as well. Is there this extra pressure for you out there to find Haaland? Not necessarily from Pep, but from him. Does he give you stick if you don't find him?
No, at all. Haaland is part of our team. He's our striker, like any other striker, or like other seasons. If we can find him, he's perfect because he's on fire. If not, there's a lot of players. Everyone play for each other, and we make the difference.
Indeed. Manchester City become the first team to score 4 goals or more in 5 consecutive top-flight games since Spurs back in 1963. And as a gesture, I see you've got 4. You chalked on 4 stripes on your sleeve for one of your many clubs that you follow. Both managers talked about how City managed to beat the Southampton press. Talk us through it.
Yeah, Man City were brilliant. With no Kyle Walker today, Akanji played in that right-back role, but we know Akanji's a centre-back, so it was nice to see how they was going to set up and try combat that. And if you look at the average positions here, you see Akanji, Diaz, Ake, almost like a back three, and Cancelo is playing almost like a winger. You see the 3 Man City and the 4 press from Southampton. Armstrong doesn't really know what he's doing. Should he stay or should he go? And Cancelo's so good with his feet. Into Foden, De Bruyne makes that run, and we all know what Haaland wants to do. He wants to get in behind as soon as possible, and it's gone from front to back so quickly. And I thought it wasn't going to be his day today after he hit the post. Again, the importance of two players who can drop deep. Bernardo Silva and Rodri, very, very comfortable on the ball. It's going to go to Ederson, and then who's it going to go to? Cancelo. But look at the numbers Southampton had. They didn't know whether to stay, whether to go, and they just broke that press every single time there was. And it just went from back to front so quickly. You know, we're talking about 1, 2 passes on this occasion. Nothing came of it, but Southampton didn't know how to deal with it. In the end, they just got a little bit tired. Everything got really narrow, and it was just too easy. Grealish, come on, getting in them little pockets of space. And you can't give Kevin De Bruyne that much space in the middle of the park. Aribo has got to come out and help his teammates. You know, there's only one thing on De Bruyne's mind: can I find Haaland? Just takes a bad touch. And that was the story of the game. Southampton doing so well against Man City last season. This season, they just blew him away.
Yeah, just the one goal for Haaland today, but his sheer presence in many ways, the fact that he plays so high up the pitch, creates space for other players, doesn't it?
It does, and we're seeing it with Phil Foden especially. You know, it's 5 goals in 3 games now, but it's the fact, it's that threatening that back all the time, threatening the space, and you can see they're all worried about where he's going to go. I think Aribo has got to be in that kind of position because the left back has got to make sure that he's worrying about Haaland as well. Aribo doesn't come across. You can see the amount of space that once he makes the moves in it. Look at the space that Foden's got in there, what Mahrez has got in there. Everybody's got so much space because they're so worried about the... Look at this one, Phil Foden. I think normally they've got that false 9 and they're looking to play inside the pitch, but Phil Foden, I think he just has a quick look. He's not even seen Haaland. Look, he's not seen him. He's not looked. He just knows I'm going to put it in there. And now you can see the defenders running back to their own goal. This is something that Manchester City now have in their armoury, which is going to cause people problems. Well, look how much space Phil Foden's got, simply because they're so worried about Haaland there. Yeah. They've actually left Phil Foden that much space. A better ball probably could get a shot off, but that's the kind of space that he can create for his teammates. You can see it. Look at Phil Foden, like the defender. He's got Phil Foden, and now look, because he's seen Haaland, he's coming across, and look. Phil Foden's left in so much space, and like he's going to punish you because he's got that quality.
Yeah, he certainly has.
You know, and then you see, look, this is a beautiful finish.
Yeah, love that.
That's gorgeous. I think Aribo, he's got to stay with him because Kevin De Bruyne, yes, he's on the edge, but that's not his problem. His problem is Mahrez. Again, the space is created and they score easily. I think that Southampton made a lot of mistakes, but Man City just took total advantage of it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter what you do against them at the moment, does it?
Yeah, another good start for Riyad Mahrez after a slow beginning to this campaign. It's a 6th straight win in all competitions for Manchester City. They scored 24 goals in the process. The City juggernaut rolls on, Glenn.
It certainly does, yeah. I love watching them play. Personally, as I said, I think they're the best team in the world, including all international teams. So they're just a wonderful team to watch. Even if, like, I love watching De Bruyne, but if De Bruyne was brought out of the team, it doesn't matter. You've still got your Fodens, you've still got top-quality midfield players. It's the midfield that make it tick completely, and obviously they've got now Haaland, who's the finisher, and they've got the outside players that come inside and they join in. It's a joy to watch. If you're a Man City fan, you know, and you've got a season ticket, it must be an absolute pleasure to watch this team week in and week out.
At the minute, Darren, you can't talk about Manchester City without mentioning Erling Haaland, and he's now reached that benchmark of 20 goals in the season. We've only got 30 games left of the league campaign, but that's in all competitions. But he has got 15 in 9, which is simply incredible.
It's incredible, as we said. He's hitting numbers that we've not seen before, and 20 in all competitions. I mean, a lot of centre forwards nowadays would be delighted with that, because that 20 goals in any season is the benchmark, and the fact he's got it so quickly is scary. But he seems to be getting better and better. We love his movement. I mean, this one here is unfortunate, but the desire to get in behind, and he does everything right. Hits the target, unfortunately, inside of the post. But he's always there or thereabouts. Even if he doesn't get the pass, it's because they've chosen the wrong option. But he's always there. But I think maybe at first he was just maybe a yard off it, like here now. You'd expect the net to bulge, but he's just a yard off it. But you keep giving him opportunities, like this one here, the desire to get in behind, he would always score them.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, and this is great movement. Look at that. Just half a yard on his right foot to take the defender away. and then he comes in, but it's the timing of it that I'm impressed with. You can do that sort of movement, Darren, and it's too early.
Yeah.
But his timing was perfect, and he didn't try and hit it too hard. Just guides it into the net.
These statistics are quite frightening. Do you know any other player quite like him in your time in football?
No. No, I really don't. I think he's got everything. He ticks every single box. You know, some of them have been close to that, but they haven't perhaps got the power and the pace to go in behind defenders. I think this is why I think, you know, City might win the Champions League this year. They might win the league as well, because I think of him. I think maybe in European games as well, the space in behind. You know, sometimes you go away from home, there's going to be he can get in there, like we saw when Foden played the ball round. He loves to run in behind defenders as well as, you know, show for the ball, and then he bursts back into the box. He's got great assets, and apart from just his finishing, it's his cleverness, it's his subtlety with his runs. He understands the game at a very young age.
It's also the player's hunger. If, you know, we saw Haaland pick up a hat-trick last weekend in the Manchester derby. Foden did the same. And he was hungry for more today, and he put in another terrific performance.
Yeah, he's someone else who's getting better and better, linking really well with the team, the likes of De Bruyne and Haaland. They've got a nice little connection. But even with his goal as well, I mean, he's just getting better and better every single time he plays. And I remember a couple of seasons ago, I mean, that pass is... A lot of people don't even see that. But I remember Pep talking about it. A lot of people were saying he needs to go out on loan. And Pep said, nope, he's here in the perfect situation, learning off the likes of De Bruyne and David Silva. But you can just see now every single season and every single time he steps onto the pitch, he just seems to be getting better and better. And what he's added more so this season, he carries more of a goal threat. He's getting into areas where he can actually hurt the opposition. And then this is just, again, the icing on the cake. Not the best of first touch, but the second touch is absolutely superb. Little dink, really good finish.
This kid's a wonderful player. We've got something on our hands here, and I just hope that they polish it like a diamond, and he plays for England like in positions that he can play for City. And at the moment, I don't see him playing like that for England at this moment in time. I saw him when he was 17 in the under-7 when they won the World Cup. He was like a South American playing against South Americans. He really was. I think in the next 2 or 3 years, he can become like De Bruyne if he wants to. But I think he'll score more goals than De Bruyne, for instance, because he likes to get in the box like that. He's got such talent, and he understands the game. And I think that's where Pep kept him in amongst all the top stars and said, no, send you out on loan, you might get bad habits. You're going to train with these guys all that. And he has just come on and on. He can only get better.
Would you go as far as saying he's a generational talent?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's back when we changed the academies, how we coached the younger kids, how we made the pitches smaller so that you got 1,000 touches, you know, instead of like 100 touches when we were playing in big pitches. That's when he was 8 probably then, 7 or 8 years of age, and now he's come through. And it just shows you what you can achieve if you give them talented players the football to master first.
What that result means is City go top of the table for a few hours at least, because Arsenal don't take on Liverpool at the Emirates until Sunday. Should they win that, they will go to the summit. For Southampton, it's 4 straight defeats. Where does this leave Ralph Hasenhüttl, Darren?
Well, as I said, I don't think you can take this result in isolation because Manchester City will do that to anybody.
Yeah.
But it's about getting results from now. I mean, as I said, 5 defeats in the last 6. I mean, the only side they beat was Chelsea. So you go, OK, it's been a bit up and down. But for Ralph Hasenhüttl, I always feel like he's a manager that is always 3 results away from the sack or 3 results away from the top job. But at some stage with Southampton, he's got to find a bit of consistency because they kind of flirt with relegation for a bit, then they get a few results and they pull away from it. At some stage, if that continues, they'll get dragged down there and unfortunately they'll go. But he's just got to find a bit of consistency. I think he's signed well with the younger players, but he needs some more people to step up, more of his senior players to step up.
Welcome back. So the dust has just about settled on yet another victory for Manchester City. 4-0 winners at home over Southampton. As a result, they go 2 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table. And truth be told, they did it with a gear or 2 to spare, Glenn.
I think you're right, yeah. They played a little bit within today. Not their very, very best, but they didn't need to be. And that's where they're at the moment. That's how... You know, that's how the rest of the league have got to come and play special against them. They've got to play out of their skin to get anything from them because they're so dominant as a team. They've got every aspect of they're defending as a team. They're a tough team to actually break down now, whereas that was their Achilles heel a few years ago. Their midfield is their midfield, probably the best midfield in the world. And then you've now got Haaland and the strike force. Where is their Achilles heel? They haven't got one. They were brilliant today in the sense that, you know, we know they've got another few gears. Mahrez comes in, plays well, gets his goal. You know, all round, Pep's got to be absolutely delighted. And also, the thing for me today is, in the week and last week against United, he's just nursing in a couple of youngsters as well. What a lovely position to be, 3 or 4-0 up, and you just send a couple of lads on, kids on to start learning in their education of the game with all these great players around them. So every which way, they've got it made.
Dangerous all over the pitch, including full back, and it was through João Cancelo that they broke the deadlock after 20 minutes.
Yeah, they did. As you said, they're really good play from João Cancelo. He's been the standout fullback this season in the Premier League, but shows real composure in that final third, and I think that's what separates him, certainly with most, is the composure he shows there. Shapes to bend it with his right foot into that far corner, and then just shifts it onto his left foot. And it's a really, really good finish. But he's one of them fullbacks that are really comfortable when they get into them areas. Left or right foot, comfortable, smashes it through the defender's legs, goalkeeper's unsighted, and it's a really good start for Manchester City and a really good finish.
Yeah, without a doubt, a wonderful player. I mean, you've seen him hit balls to the outside of his right foot beautifully, but here again, you know, he's just a top quality player. You lose the ball against Man City in the middle third, and they'll break on you quickly. Beautiful. This is a wonderful goal. Foden, the angle of the ball just goes away from him. His touch isn't great. De Bruyne, a lovely weighted pass. That's where it's going away, but it actually helps him to dink the ball over the keeper. A fantastic finish, and you wonder at that point that 2-0 after 30 minutes is, wow, what is this going to be a cricket score? But, you know, in the end, they just sort of played within a little bit, City.
This is a good sign, just like he did in midweek. After a slow start to the season, Mahrez got a goal and an assist against Copenhagen. That's now 2 goals and assists in 2 games.
Well, whoever steps up or gets the opportunity, they're taking that opportunity with both hands. And as you said there, Riyad Mahrez, really good finish, by the way, because this is not easy. A lot of people have probably gone with the inside of their left foot, like a side foot, but he volleys it into the ground, tight angle, really good finish. But as you said, we know Mahrez can do that. Top quality finish.
And for some time, we thought it was going to turn out to be one of those rare off days for Erling Haaland. He got frustrated by the woodwork in the first half.
Yeah.
He did get one in the end.
Yeah, he did. And it's all about his movement. I mean, De Bruyne slides a beautiful ball back there to Cancelo, I think it is there. He's onside, here's the ball. But watch his movement. Just watch Haaland. As that ball comes in there to De Bruyne, it's a lovely little give and go. But he goes, I'm going on the back of the defender. No, I'm not. I'm coming across the front. And it's on his left peg, and he beautifully just slides it in the back of the net. Look, there you go. It doesn't matter how tight they get in the end. And there's appreciation of somebody who's made the goal.
Do you know what? It's not even a big movement either. It's like half a yard where he drops the shoulder. I'm going to go behind you. No, I'm not. Yeah. Popped up in front of him just to buy that little bit of space. Yeah. Really, really tidy finish.
So 15 goals in 9 Premier League games. He's hit the 20-goal mark. Wow. In 13 in all competitions.
Well, how many is he going to... We're going to be sitting here at the end of the season. I mean, if he stays fit, that's the key. And he doesn't look like he's a lad that's going to have a lot of injuries either. So,
well, he's not featuring in the World Cup, is the other
no, that's right. He's going to be fresh as a daisy. When everyone comes back on Boxing Day, he'll be chomping on the bit to play again. So, amazing, really.
It's crazy because you look at his injury record as well, and you'd think Pep would know that when he signed him, but left him a lot of minutes. Because even today was another one of them games where you go, right, we've got a big Champions League game coming up. Let's withdraw him a little bit. Give him the last half an hour off. Keeps playing him. So clearly, he must be fully fit.
4 defeats on the spin, as far as Southampton are concerned. 5 in 6. How alarming is there on a form? And is there much you can take away from today's game?
Well, I think today, it was always going to be difficult for them. I don't think they can be truly judged on one game, particularly City at the moment. But no, it is concerning. But we've seen this with Southampton. They go on these sort of runs and where they do well and then they feel away. You think, oh my word, they've lost the reins, and then they go and get some surprising results. What they have got to do now is get those surprising results. If not, I think the manager's going to be under a bit of pressure.
I was just going to say, does that add more fuel to the fire in terms of Ralph Hasenhüttl's future?
I think you take today's result as in isolation because it's Manchester City. We saw them give Manchester United 6 last week, so not hit the panic button, but they need to start getting results soon.